Hey, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel, and I worked myself into a bit of a problem. Right now I'm working on Snakecore. The idea is it's a single screen arena type thingy, so you can see the whole battlefield in a single screen. And that's where my problems began this week, because a single screen isn't actually a standard thing anymore. Alright, so let me explain the problem a little bit more. The single screen works, it's easy, it's simple, it's nice. Haven't done it in a while, so great to create a game with a single screen again. However, I wanted the levels to be more interesting, so I need to start filling up those levels with interesting things. And that's where the problem became very apparent. Alright, so this is a device. It's a phone. It's my phone. You can call... No, don't call me. It's Nokia running Android. It's a very wide screen, as you can see. There are devices that are even wider or higher, wider, but also devices that are just less wide. Like this one. They're obviously physically much bigger than this one, but resolution-wise, it's very square and a very weird thingy going on, and I never like it because I like the device, just not the resolution. And I also want the game to be playable in portrait mode, just to make problems even worse. So up to this point, the game was a very square level. So just a rectangle and stuff happening inside. But now I actually want to add some level designs to it, like maze-like structures. And then this whole resolution thingy becomes a big thing, like a very big problem. Which I maybe should just sketch out a little bit. Alright, so I came up with a solution for this. I've been working on it all week, so let's do a little bit of sketching and I'll talk you through the whole solution for the resolution problem. My resolution solution coming up after the intro. Alright, so as mentioned, we have a very variable level depending on the device, the screen. We can't be certain of anything, we can't be certain of the horizontal space, we can't be certain of the vertical space. And still I want to create levels inside that are interesting on all devices. So it requires a little bit of tinkering. Let's draw just a couple of ideas. Alright, so those are some of the ideas that are possible variations. Creating things just along the edges works, but the center will always be a bit empty and we never know when the edges, how far they are apart. So if they touch each other and if it's a very big screen, there will be a lot of space between the edges. So leaving a lot of empty space in the level. One option was to add stuff in a corner and then randomly flip it alongside the corner, but that would only have one corner full of stuff and then the rest of the level would still be empty. Not my most brilliant idea, I know. Another option I had, and this was the one that was the most promising, was just to have a design that was half a screen and then centered vertically horizontal in that half and then flipped. And then we could create different blocks to flip those things. But in the end, I opted for a different solution. This option, which is a little 6x5 template. So a little cut out of a level. Not a lot of room to design interesting stuff, but still enough room to do something with it. And then we have just as many blocks as we can fit in the arena randomly. And then centered a little bit. And that was the best option I came up with. And that's the one I started working on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, so as you can see, we now have various levels being formed and shaped using these building blocks, and the game just calculates how many blocks we have available horizontally, how many blocks we can fit vertically, and then it tries to center them a little bit on screen so that there's preferably room at the top and the bottom, and then more close to the center. Which works so far. I haven't added many blocks just yet because I first want to try out as much as possible if this actually works and nothing fails and stuff like that. So it does add a lot more variation to the levels. It should work on all sizes and formats. Actually, I can show you right now. I have a portrait mode of the game on my phone. And I have the volume set up to the max. Alright, so it fits everything nicely vertically on the screen. If we start a little mission, the mission screen just fits right. And then of course we start a mission. And we have a little level being created for us. And now we're gonna die, and now we're gonna be distracted by my own game. So I should turn it off. Anyway, it works. Portrait mode, landscape mode, various resolutions and other stuff. I had to come up with some rules for these little blocks I'm creating. The first rule and most important one is, do I use the full block or do I always leave room at the edges so that the player can move into it? It's pretty much based on the fact that, do I put all the blocks next to each other without room, or do I always leave a single tile of space between every block? I decided to just try to use and maximize the most of the level, so all the blocks are squeezed together, and within those blocks I just try to design interesting paths and make sure that the player can always move in and out of such a block into a next block.
You got it. Affirmative. You got it. Orders to receive. Affirmative. Need assistance. You got it. You got it.
Alright, so the biggest issue I ran into this week was resizing. And resizing is everything from rotating to just on Windows resizing the game window. This caused a lot of headaches. For the mobile version, I came to the conclusion that rotation is limited to the menu screen only. As soon as you leave menu screen and start a new game, the rotation gets fixed. So you can't change rotation mid-game, because that would cause so much problems with the whole level. It would be a level designed for horizontal play, and you have to suddenly... It didn't work, and it caused me a lot of headache just to make sure this all worked right. And on Windows, the same problem, or on PC. Resizing can be done at any time. There's not a lot I can do to limit that, because you can go from full screen to windowed mode, or you can go to other resolution, and that caused a lot of problems. So pretty much now the game centers the whole arena on screen if possible. If it's smaller than your current resolution, it will center on screen. If it's slightly bigger, it shouldn't be a lot bigger, so then it will scroll a little bit, and it's manageable. It's not preferable, but pretty much a player can just opt to not resize during gameplay, or switch full screen or windowed mode during a game session, and they should be fine. So all in all, this was a lot of headaches this week, a lot of problem fixing and thinking about what's possible and what isn't. But in the end, it runs and works on all devices, all screen sizes, all portrait and landscape modes. And I just hope nobody comes up with a round phone, because then we have a whole lot of other problems. But for now, I'm gonna finish up this code, because the alpha version is available for patrons, and this version needs a bunch of fixing before I can actually push it out. But by the time you see this video, it should be available. So become a patron, check out the alpha. Thanks for being a patron, and I'll see you next week. Bye! The sound keeps playing. Write down a bug. Sound should stop playing if the game is gone. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.